under which circumstances would include certain circumstances which are exempted from an anticipation analysis or a novelty analysis. Section 29 to 34 lists category of disclosures or circumstances which are excluded for the purpose of an novelty analysis. The definition refers to the subject matter has not fallen in public domain. Now, what constitutes public? Is it a large group of people, or is a disclosure to one person a disclosure to the public? Now, there are case laws which says that in determining novelty analysis, even if the disclosure is made to one person, that would amount to killing the novelty of an invention, which means that even a disclosure made to one person, if the person is not bound by any contract or secrecy obligations, for instance, there was no non-disclosure agreement with that person, or the person was not under the employment of a company where he was bound by the terms and conditions of his employment not to disclose the invention. If such a person, even if he is one person, if a disclosure is made to him, that would amount to a novelty killing disclosure. So, it is not, when we use the word public in public domain, even a disclosure made to one person will be regarded as a disclosure made to the public, and it will be regarded that it was made available to the public. Now, in determining novelty, the general rule is that an invention lacks novelty where there is complete correspondence between all of the technical features of the application and the item of prior art. Now, there has to be a complete match of all the technical features as disclosed in the application and as compared to the prior art. It is not sufficient that just the essential features are common in the prior art and the application. Rather, all the technical features have to be disclosed. So, novelty analysis would require a claim to be mapped exactly in all its technical features onto the prior art. So, the subject matter will not be anticipated if some features in a claim are mapped on to a disclosure in the prior art, whereas there are other technical features which do not have, which are not disclosed in that prior art. Now, what happens when the prior art disclosure affecting novelty is not in a single document? Say there are two different documents, and the two different documents disclose all the technical features put together of the application. In other words, the application has a set of technical features which can be mapped to prior art A. It also has a set of other technical features in the claim which can be mapped to prior art B. So, how does a person look at a novelty analysis when the disclosure is in different documents? Now, the rule in determining novelty is that mosaicing or comparing different documents is not permissible for the purposes of determining novelty. So, there must be individual and separate comparison between the claimed invention and the prior art. So, the comparison is going to be individual and it is going to be separate. A person will not be allowed to do a mosaicing. A mosaicing is comparing different documents, reading them together. So, whereas mosaicing is allowed to be done when it is a determination of lack of inventive step, which is the second requirement of patentability. In some cases, you will find that the documents, because it is not permissible to read them together or it is not permissible to mosaic them, the documents will not disclose or will not be, the disclosures in a document cannot prove lack of novelty, because the disclosures are in different places. But the same documents could be used for determining lack of inventive step, and in that case mosaicing is permitted. Now, we will look at how that happens when we discuss inventive step. So, when you are looking at a novelty analysis, you would also keep the inventive step analysis at the back of your mind, because the same documents can be used for determining lack of inventive step. So, what distinguishes the novelty requirement from an inventive step requirement is the fact that the invention in an inventive step analysis is seen as whether it was obvious to a person skilled in the art. So, that brings the knowledge of the person skilled in the art, what we call the mental invent, which is absent in a novelty analysis. In a novelty analysis, your sole concern is whether the invention as disclosed in the patent application has been anticipated before by publication or by use, and in anticipation you are going to look for a complete matching of the invention in the prior art. So, it does not give the disclosure that you find in the prior art should be a complete disclosure which maps all the technical features that have been claimed in a patent application.